I can't hear you.
There you go. How about now? You hear me now?
Yes.
I don't know. Somehow I must have my settings got changed somehow. I don't really know how. I haven't changed them since in a while. But whatever.
It
Oh
worked
well.
out.
Yeah, it's all good. It's all good. Man, my audio is all jacked up. Hold on a second.
Uh,
Okay. Yeah, but yeah, coming to you on YouTube and Twitter this week. My co-host right there, Mr. TJ Hopkins. I'm David Huffman. Please like, share, and subscribe. And let's get into it. Week number 12 so far. TJ, it's crazy to think that we're already on week number 12. There was only 7 weeks of the regular season left before we get into the playoffs, man.
yeah, it's sad. It's kind of sad.
Quick, it goes quick. It's like we wait so long for it to get here, then before we know it, it's almost over.
It's almost over. Yeah, right. And like that's just. Uh.
Now, what can you do? Let's enjoy it while it lasts. Let's talk about week number 12, and we start on Thanksgiving. We got the Buffalo Bills and Detroit Lions. By the way, this is the most watched football weekend in Thanksgiving history. I think it was like 10 million people watching at some point during Thanksgiving this weekend. Most viewers ever on Thanksgiving for football. Buffalo Bills, last-second field goal to win this game, 28-25 over the Detroit Lions, who, continue to bring fight to every team they play so far this season. Josh Allen, 2 touchdowns, 1 pick. He also led the team in rushing, had the lone rushing touchdown. Stephon Diggs, Isaiah McKenzie receiving touchdowns for the Buffalo Bills. On the Detroit side of this, Jared Goff, pretty serviceable here. 23 of 37, 240 yards and 2 touchdowns. Jamal Williams, another touchdown on the ground. That's his 13th of the season. Amon-Ra St. Brown and DJ Chark. Nice DJ Chark signing here from him in this game. Detroit falls 28-25. Thoughts?
Detroit, they're not there yet. They're coming, but they're not there yet. When you allow a team to walk down and get in the field goal range in 13 seconds, it's what Kansas City did to them. Like Buffalo did what Kansas City did to Buffalo Bills. Buffalo did to Detroit. All right, like they're thinking, oh, we going into overtime. We're gonna get a chance to win this. And Josh Allen said, "No, not today. No, I'm gonna get in the field goal range."
Josh Allen seems to say that a lot.
Yeah. Josh Allen just said, "No, not today." Interesting fact about Jamal Williams. So you said Thursday he scored his 13th touchdown of the season, right?
Yep, leading all of NFL in running backs and rushing touchdowns this season.
He had 13 combined in his tenure with Green Bay. However long he was in Green Bay.
Wow, that's quite the stat line. Yeah, but Jamal Williams has been nothing short of awesome since he's been in Detroit. Also, welcome to the show, Mr. Kristen Simpson. Welcome to the show, man.
What's going on?
We're just breaking down Lions Bills as the Bills roll down the field, kick the game-winning field goal as time basically expired.
Yeah, I mean, look. Well, I think Buffalo's still trying to figure it out at this point. We thought that they had it figured out, but I don't know. Something's not right with them. And Josh Allen, I think, is more hurt than he's really letting everyone know.
Well, you can still throw the football 100,000 miles. So, I mean, if he's hurt, I'd hate to see him healthy.
Right.
We're real, dude. Like, I think he last season, a couple weeks ago against the Jets, the first game that he was coming off that UCL injury, he threw the football like the farthest distance throw anyone's thrown it in the league so far this season. Like the dude just got a massive arm. But yeah, I think also the Buffalo they allow teams to hang around, and I think eventually we've already seen it a little bit this season where they lost that game to the Jets. Again, they probably should have won. They let that game with Minnesota, a game they should have won. They let these teams hang around, and then they end up getting into falling in those games.
And that's the problem I have with Buffalo. I think, like you just said, they do let teams hang around. Like I sometimes feel they're a first half team, they're not a second half team. Put teams away when the opportunity presents itself.
But overall, pretty good win for Buffalo. Detroit, yeah, they're just not ready for the games yet. They play hard and they continue to play hard. Moving on to the battle of the NFC East. between the New York Giants and the Dallas Cowboys. Christian Simpson's New York Football Giants, and Giants fall 28-20 by the score that Mr. Christian Simpson predicted in his article at dailyblitz.blog. If you read his article, he got the score on the dot. So shout out to you, Christian. Nice job, man.
Thanks, man. I appreciate that. I do what I can.
Yeah, quick
Still
stat line
don't know
here.
shit.
You know, Daniel Jones, 1 touchdown, no picks. Saquon Barkley also had a rushing touchdown. Ricky James had the lone receiving touchdown for the New York Giants. Dallas, Dak Prescott, 2 touchdowns, 2 picks. Ezekiel Elliott had a rushing touchdown. So did Peyton Hendershot. I'm not going to be honest with you. I don't really know who that is. And then Bobby Schultz's cousin, Dalton Schultz, had both receiving touchdowns for the Dallas Cowboys. CeeDee Lamb led them receiving yards. Christian, this is your team. Thoughts?
I mean, I saw this loss coming in, dripped in gravy. Like, the Giants just don't have enough of a passing attack to keep up. I think for them to have won this game, Saquon Barkley was going to need to run for about 150 yards, but that wasn't the case. I mean, both teams were different coming into this one than what we saw the first meeting. Cooper Rush was playing, you know. We were still trying to get a feel for who the Giants really were. This Giants team's 2-0, and I don't think anybody saw that coming. Then Dallas, I mean, their defense has just been incredible this year. I think they're the best defense in the league, or one of the top 3 defenses.
I think San Francisco might have something to say about that.
Yeah. That's why I corrected myself. But I like when Dallas plays balanced. They're a tough out when they're running the ball, and Dak can only throw the ball to me about 30 times per game. I think anything over 30 is a recipe for them to lose. And their defense is teeing off and they're getting settled. Like, this is a tough team to beat. Yeah, that's my take on everything.
And yeah, I think the final score of this game was kind of closer than the game actually was. I just never really thought the Giants were all that in this game, especially in the third quarter where Dallas kind of really pulled away, and like the Giants just looked like they're a different team in the second half of this game for sure.
Yeah,
Christian may have predicted the score right, but he still don't know shit. It is what it is.
I'm a phone.
It is what it is. No, for
He just
David.
see all the people. That's just jealousy, man. Male shouldn't be jealous. That's a female trait.
You know how many? Y'all know how many people watch this game?
Like 42 mil.
42 million people watch this game.
That's crazy.
I told you
Man.
at the beginning of the show, maybe it was 100 million people watched some amount of football on Thanksgiving because, it was the most watched Thanksgiving day of football ever.
Like, mainly because I legit think by the time Dallas comes on TV, like, everybody is wide awake. They're probably where they need to be because, folks got to travel for Thanksgiving and whatnot. And then, like,
work.
Or they got to work. And, like that's the game that most people see. All right, I think they're doing Detroit a disservice because they come on at 11 a.m. our time, right? I know David's out east, so he's and Christian too. Like they y'all out east, so y'all are an hour ahead and whatnot. But again, the Giants, they're not yet coming. All right, 1 or 2 more moves, maybe a couple more, and you'll start to make some noise. You still got a decision to make on Daniel Jones. Like, he's vastly improved compared to what we saw last year. I know that's not much to go off on, but he still
It's also not saying much.
But hey, like, you have folks out there like they need to go draft a QB like this year, right? Like it was some Giants fans out there that they wanted Daniel Jones gone, but now he's just made that decision somewhat harder. I don't know how much harder.
I do think he'll be back next season, probably as their starting quarterback, because the way their winning streak is. I mean, the way they played, they're not going to have a pick early enough in the first round to get one. And I also think they have bigger problems than just the quarterback position. I think the wide receiver position is a complete mess. They could use a top flight tight end. Their offensive line is coming around, but their defensive line, they could still use another edge rusher. They can still use another corner. This is a team that has some holes. Like quarterback, changing the quarterback situation does not change anything for the New York Giants next season. Christian.
And on the Dallas side, on the Dallas side, you had to justify winning 40-3 up against the Vikings, who we'll get to in a little bit. You had to justify that, right? Like this is the same defense that you had against the Minnesota Vikings, and you allowed the New York Giants to score 20 points on you. I mean, you still won, but defensively it was kind of a letdown seeing that the standard that you set for yourself a couple of days prior. Go ahead, Christian.
Yeah, I mean, TJ, I think hit it on the head. But I'm just curious to see where this NFC East is going to go moving forward because I think it's probably the best division of football right now. Like, I read something today and it said if the playoffs were to start right now, all four teams in the NFC East would make.
Yeah, I mean, you can make the argument that nobody from the NFC South should make the playoffs this season. Moving on to the primetime game on Thanksgiving, Minnesota revenge coming back off their terrible loss last week to beat the New England Patriots, 33-26. Mac Jones, a pretty good game here for him, 28 of 39, 382 yards and 2 touchdowns. Ramondre Stevenson, 7 carries for 36 yards. Damon Harris, unfortunately, got hurt early in this game and did not return. Devontae Parker, leading receiver for the New England Patriots, 4 catches for 80 yards. Nelson Aguilar and Hunter Henry also had touchdowns in this game. He also had a touchdown reversed to Hunter Henry, on a questionable call, I think. On the other side of this, Minnesota, big game here for Kirk Cousins. Finally bounced back, 30 of 37, 299 yards, 3 touchdowns, and 1 interception. They gave Dalvin Cook 22 carries in this game. He didn't do a lot with it, but they at least stuck to it. 22 carries for 42 yards. Justin Jefferson, Adam Thielen, TJ Hawkinson all had receiving touchdowns for the Minnesota Vikings.
Yeah, man, this is a great win, a great bounce back win for the Minnesota Vikings. They were balanced, they were spreading the ball around offensively, and most importantly, they never let their foot off the gas when the opportunity presented itself. They took full advantage. I mean, and to TJ's point, he even said, look, Minnesota's going to come into this game angry. They know what happened. They were embarrassed on their home field just days before, and they took their frustrations out on New England.
Yeah, it's the questionable call that David's talking about. Yeah, New England ain't so fun when the rabbit got the gun. Do it.
Right.
New England got hosed on a bunch of calls in this game. Like, it wasn't just that one. I actually think they got that Hunter Henry call right, but they missed a face mask that was like a face mask that resulted in a turnover. Like they missed a bunch of calls in this game that went all in the favor of Minnesota. Funny Patriot fans, now you complain about it, right?
Right. It ain't as fun when the rabbit got the gun. So you can make the argument like they just simply quote unquote ran out of time. Like Mac Jones is slamming his helmet on the field, and Mac Jones probably had his best game as a pro, 28 of 39, 382, 2 touchdowns.
At least this season he did for sure.
All right, at least this season. I can't think of a single game that he had last year like that. But hey, man, that man Justin Jefferson,
he was good in that playoff game. He just got way outshined by Josh Allen.
Ain't nothing. Then there's nothing to talk about. But hey, that man Justin Jefferson. When we say best receiver in the league, hey, that's a conversation, man.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, nine catches for 139 yards in this game and a touchdown.
He's getting into that territory of effing. He down there somewhere.
100%. I mean, we want to see Kirk Cousins. He'll just throw it. If he thinks Justin Jefferson's out there, he'll throw it out there. I think for Minnesota, this is a great win. He really needed to bounce back off what was an abysmal performance against the Dallas Cowboys. Patriots really, fans, I think that the Patriots, this is a good game for you too. I mean, you come back off your offense putting up only 3 points against the New York Jets. At least your offense played well in this game, and you're still in the hunt of it when it comes to the AFC.
But like, really think about this.
Look better this game.
But really think about this, right? Look at the beating that Kirk Cousins took against the Cowboys, right? They sacked him 7 times. They hit him 11, 12. New England with Matthew Judon only got to him 1 time.
Yeah, Matthew Judon didn't even have a sack in this game.
And Matthew Judon wasn't the one that got to him.
Yeah, it was Josh Uche, the kid that went from Michigan.
Yeah. So Minnesota needed this one again. I said it. They had a couple. They're gonna have a couple opportunities to clinch the division. This is just another step forward. So you got the Patriots. You played the Patriots. You got the Jets next. So you win 10. Like if you beat the Jets, that's your 10th win. That's likely gonna clinch this division for you, and it all but ensures a home playoff game for you.
Well, calls, welcome into the show, CEO of Prime Sports World, Mr. Israel Rivera. Welcome to the show, my friend. Hope you had a nice Thanksgiving. Let's move into Sunday as we close the book on Thanksgiving. Sunday, Tampa Bay Buccaneers, first game on the docket here. They go into Cleveland and lose 23-17. A lot of background noise coming from somebody's mic. So Tampa Bay losing 17-23 against the Cleveland Browns. Tom Brady 29-43, 246 yards and 2 touchdowns. Rashad White 14 carries, 64 yards. As Leonard Fournette did not play in this game. Cole Keft and Chris Godwin had the receiving touchdowns for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. On the Cleveland side, 1 touchdown, 1 pick for Jacoby Brissett, 23 of 37 for 210 yards. Nick Chubb, a man among boys, 26 carries, 116 yards, 1 touchdown. Anthony Schwartz also had a rushing touchdown. David Njoku had the receiving touchdown for the Cleveland Browns. If you have not seen the David Njoku touchdown from this game, do yourself a favor and pop it on YouTube. It is quite the touchdown, for real.
It is.
And this is another game where Tampa Bay seemed to be in control, and they let it slip away. And Cleveland won this game because they were they stuck with what they're good at. They run the football. 34 running attempts for this team in this game.
Yeah, who says that? Oh, me. I am just full of fun facts today. So, do you know Tom Brady's record before yesterday when he's up 7 in the last 2 minutes of a game?
I imagine it's really good.
It was 218-0
When he's up 7 points in the game?
in the last 2 minutes. Under 2
On the
minutes.
last 2 minutes. Oh man, yeah. Oh jeez.
He was 218-0 up 7 under 2 minutes to go in the game. And the Cleveland Browns have, for once in their life, etched themselves on the right side of history because first off, where do they get these stats from? Like, who just knows that? Who does the amount of research to find that kind of number?
I mean, people make a lot of money doing stuff like this.
I'm in the wrong profession, but yeah, Cleveland. This is what I've been saying about y'all the entire time. All right, like, don't panic. Don't just because you're down big. Don't panic. Don't do any of that. Stick to what you're good at. Run the ball down people's throats, and you'll eventually get back into it because running the ball the way that you do allows your defense to be on that sideline and catch a breather for a minute as opposed to pass, 3 and out. Now you're putting the entire defense back on the field, and Jacoby Brissett is not a Hall of Fame quarterback to be like, all right, I'm going to put the game on your arm, lead us to victory. It's not that. When the Buccaneers played Seattle over in Germany and Rashad White had the game that he did, I was like, okay, I can see them utilizing him a lot more, and they're going to have confidence in him. 14 for 64, no touchdowns. That's not the game probably he wanted, but to get the ball 14 times that's a pretty decent workload for the situation that you're in. No Leonard Fournette. Did Leonard Fournette not play at all?
No, he was hurt.
No, he didn't. So they ran the ball 20 times. I still would have liked to seen Tampa Bay run the ball a little bit more. Like, you don't want Tom Brady throwing the ball 43 times. They lost Tristan Wirfs this game and probably for a few more weeks. So they got that to deal with. But yeah, I mean, if you're Tampa Bay, your saving grace is that Atlanta lost, right? Yeah, Atlanta lost. So
sure. Yeah. Tristan Wirfs' injury does not seem to be as bad. He was going to miss 3 to 4 weeks with an ankle injury. When the injury happened, I thought it was something catastrophic. So,
yeah, I just thought Tampa was punched in the mouth.
They soft, man. Christian, you know they soft.
Right.
They soft on defense, man.
They are soft, and you're really seeing the impact without Shaquille Barrett. You see what I'm saying? Like, he sets the edge. I don't want to say he's the heart and soul. Maybe you can apply that to him, but his presence is sorely missed. And TJ made an excellent point. You don't want Tom Brady throwing the ball that many times. I mean, I thought Rashad White was really going to have another big game, but I mean, Cleveland bottled him up. And it may sound weird to say in all the years I've been watching Tom Brady, but Cleveland bottled up that run, and they were like, look, no, we're going to dare you to throw it. They took away the middle of the field, and they forced him to throw over the top.
And
Yeah, no.
couldn't connect with wide receivers. I mean, I think the other thing is like Tampa Bay's really missing that veteran leadership that they've had the last couple of seasons. You know, no Ndamukong Suh, no Jason Pierre-Paul, no Gronk. All of those guys. Cameron Brate's out. Cameron Brate came back and played in this game, but like he's been out. Like this is a team that has been. You had a lot of veterans that carried them through like the tough patch where they don't have that anymore. And Tom Brady's dealing with Tom Brady stuff right now, so.
Well, that's over with now. So like he can play clear. Closed mind, clear heart, can't lose. That however their phrase go. But what's his name? Mike Evans only had 2 catches on 9 targets. That don't happen often.
No.
Right. Sure but at the same time, if I'm the Cleveland Browns, I'm not letting you just pitch and catch to Mike Evans all day either. Like I'm like, no, if I gotta take one of those 2 dudes away, I'm taking him away. All right, I'm taking Mike Evans away. So
and Todd Bowles probably won't be coming back as a head coach next year. I mean, you kind of see this team kind of rub off on, his kind of nonchalant personality in a way. I mean, he's not aggressive. I mean, I think, they're kind of driving. They get to the 48 of Cleveland. There's like, some say like, the timeout situation. He kind of handled that wrong. A lot of Tampa Bay fans a little mad about that.
That handling at the end of the game was not good at all.
Yeah, exactly. So when you have a situation like that, you got 12 back there, that could probably push you in the field goal range. I mean, you're kind of getting looked at. I mean, I'm kind of looking at Todd Bowles like I don't know if he's the right man for this job. But at 5-6, right? 5-6, they're still in it to win the division. That's the only thing. Yeah.
Moving on to a rematch of the playoffs last season. Cincinnati Bengals goes into Nissan Stadium in Tennessee, comes out with the victory 20-16. Joe Burrow, pretty modest game for Joe Burrow, 22 of 37, 270 yards and a touchdown. Samaje Perine got the start as Joe Mixon did not play in this game. 17 carries, 58 yards and a touchdown. T. Higgins had the lone receiving touchdowns. He also had 114 yards receiving. On the Ryan Tannehill Titans, 22 of 34, 291. Derrick Henry, 17 carries for 38 yards. Derrick Henry also led this team in receiving yards, three catches for 79 yards. One of them was a 69-yard touchdown that he fumbled before he went into the end zone and was recovered by Traylon Burks.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah.
Bree got stripped. They got punched out. Yeah. Yeah, punched out, yeah. Traylon Burks recovered
in the end zone. This was a battle between 2 teams we're probably going to be seeing come January.
Hey, real talk. If you'd have told me that in 3 straight games, Derrick Henry will be held to under 100 yards and they'd be 2-1 in those 3 games, I think Tennessee would take that.
I mean, yeah, this is a rare game. The Tennessee Titans actually lost time possession. They lost overall yards and they lost first downs. Like they just got things a little bit.
Like the Broncos held them to 53 yards. They won that one. Green Bay held them to 87 yards. They won that one. And then yesterday he only had what? He only had 38 yards.
Yeah.
And they lost that.
He had 17 carries to do it too. TJ, he had 17 carries. And then that pass that the 70, how many yards he had? 79 yards. He got it all on 69-yard catch. I mean, it was literally a catch. It was a street play, I think, if I'm not mistaken.
It was.
He just zoomed it up the field. I mean, once you get that guy going, everybody knows it's hard to stop him. So, but I like Cincinnati's game plan. They put 8 in the box, and they're like, "Yo, Ryan, beat us again. We want to see Ryan Tannehill beat us."
Pretty much. So it's like, all right, you had a game. You had the game of games against Green Bay. You went 22 or 27, over 300 yards. You was throwing dots. You was throwing dimes. They was like, okay, all right, do it again.
Yeah, exactly. And he was doing a lot of dinking and TJ, he was doing a lot of dinking and dunking in this game. I mean, 22 34, 291.
I mean, given his wide receiving core, I mean, they can't really. They don't have anybody that really scares you at the wide receiver position.
Yeah.
I know Traylon Burks is a nice rookie, but he's
not
Robert
there yet.
Woods. Robert
Yeah.
Woods doesn't scare you. Westbrook Akina doesn't scare you. Their tight ends don't scare you. There's nothing on this offense that gives you any kind of real test on the outside.
That's got to be concerning going into the play, like, kind of ramping up until the end of the season, going into the playoffs.
Here's the thing. Before Christian get in here, like, it's been the same thing with Tennessee the last pretty much under Vrabel. Right? They overperform, they get to the playoffs, and then all of a sudden, when you need the quarterback, whether it was Mariota or now Tannehill to make a play, they can't really do it.
I mean, their best win this season is probably against the Commanders. I mean, they have every time they've gone up against a top flight opponent, they've lost.
Nah, their best win of the year was against Green Bay. That was
against Green Bay.
I've seen.
I'm talking about they actually beat a decent team. Like the Commanders are a team that they beat.
Yeah, in terms of record, winning record.
Yeah, I think they probably played their most complete game against Green Bay, but the team they beat, their most impressive win was against the Commanders.
I get what you said.
Yeah, I get what you mean. I like what I saw from Cincinnati yesterday. And it was almost around this time last year when they started to get hot and they didn't look back. Could we be seeing the same thing again? But I give a lot of credit to this defense because, like Izzy said, they sat 9, 10 guys on that line of scrimmage. And when you see that many guys in the box, they're dangerous. But you're going to throw the football on them.
Man to man, baby.
Right. And I just like the physical nature that they played with. Every time Derrick Henry thought he had a lane, they pretty much gun clapped him.
They definitely did. I was looking like, man, they bringing the safety in the box and everything. They were like, you're good. We're gonna keep one safety over the top, and we're gonna play man to man on all your wide receivers because nobody, like David said, nobody scares them. Nobody scares them.
Yeah, I'm cool.
Nobody on that team scares nobody.
I'm cool with the Westbrook Akine and Traylon Burks beating me. Anybody but number 22.
Anybody but that.
Moving on to the 2 blowouts on Sunday. Let's just work on them together. So first Miami welcomed in the Houston Texans to beat them down 30-15. Kyle Allen, 1 touchdown and 2 picks. Tua Tagovailoa, another impressive game. 1 touchdown. Jeff Wilson, leading rusher for the Dolphins. Jordan Akins, leading receiver for the Houston Texans. On the other one, Chicago Bears got beat 31-10 by the New York Jets as Trevor Siemian got the start. 14-25, 1 touchdown, 1 pick, and Mike White, 22 of 28, 315 yards and 3 touchdowns. Really good game for him.
Okay, to address both these games one at a time. The Texans have just again, like you're not a CJ Stroud or Bryce Young quarterback away from fixing all that is wrong down there in Houston. That's probably the move they're gonna go, right? They're probably gonna take one of those 2 dudes first. CJ Stroud did not have a good game Saturday, so I
think Bryce Young is gonna be the number 1.
Hey, you think he's gonna be number 1 overall? You know what? If I was Houston, TJ, Christian, David, I'd go defense. And be like, we're gonna go suck again next year, and I'm gonna try and get number 1 pick next year to get Caleb Williams.
Oh, so
that's what I would do.
I think the thing is, like, that sounds great on paper, but it's hard to get the
it's hard to do that
back to back. Like, you gotta really be trash. Like, you gotta give it to
I think they could be trash. I think they could be that trash, David. I think they could be that trash. If you go defense, let's build the defense. And then I was like, I'm gonna go get my franchise quarterback next year. You know what I mean? Even though you can get one this year, but
you continue to feed Davis Mills to the Hounds.
Hell yeah. I didn't even sign some of those XFL guys. They're gonna play, put them on the offensive line. They'd be like, anything to get Caleb Williams next year.
Also,
I'm doing.
That's the on the Bears side of this, Mike White played extremely well in this game, but he played against a defense that is just
not good.
Like everybody was like, Mike White, he was supposed to play well in this game. I think if you had put Zach Wilson in this situation, he would have played well. He probably
did the same thing.
Yeah, for real.
Hey, real talk. I need the Justin Fields doubters and haters to come to the forefront because we saw this offense without him. We saw it, right?
Yeah.
Like the past month and a half, Justin Fields has given us basically 30 points a game. The Bears have been like top four, top five in scoring since that Monday night game against the Patriots, right?
Yep.
You took him away. They scored 10 points, and Trevor Simeon looked good for like a quarter and a half.
Man, he looked
And
good for like 1-2 drives, and then that was
and
it.
in that quarter and a half, maybe to David's point, two drives, however you want to slice it, they like Fields haters, doubters, and whatever David, you should have saw Twitter. Trevor Simeon throws the ball better than Justin Fields. Then why ain't Trevor Simeon the starting quarterback in the NFL?
There's a reason he's a backup. But yeah, that's about all the time. Anyone want to talk about either of these two games? Christian?
Hell no.
Let's move on.
Come on, man.
Moving on to the Falcons going into Washington and falling to the Commanders 19-13. By the way, Deron Payne made a great play at the very last point of this game to tip that ball, intercepted by Kendall Fuller. Great defensive stand by the Washington Commanders to win this game, a game they could have easily lost. They're 7-5.
Mm-hmm.
They're 6-7 in their last 6-7 in their last 7 games. Marcus Mariota 15-25, 174, 1 touchdown, 1 pick. Tyler Algier 11 carries, 54 yards. Olamide Zaccheaus 5 catches for 91 on the Tampa Bay side. Taylor,
You mean Washington?
Back a Heineke. 14-23, 138, 2 touchdowns and a pick. Brian Robinson, great game for him here. 18 for 105. He also had a receiving touchdown. Johnny Bates had the other receiving touchdown for the Washington Commanders. This is more about the defense for the Commanders, I think, in my opinion, than it is about their offense. Their defense is really rounding into shape. This is another game that Chase Young didn't even play in, and they still were able to get.
He don't need to until he needs to come back. They don't need to bring him back.
I'm just saying they activated him off of IR and stuff.
They activated him, right? They activated.
I know.
He just didn't play. So.
And Christian, you can agree that's what makes their defense scary, right?
Yeah, it does. Because, see, here's the thing. He almost has the quote-unquote Von Miller effect on the Commanders' pass rush because when he gets it going, everybody in that front seven feels that they can get it going. Like he's the engine that makes that defense go. And the fact that they're doing it without him, just imagine how they're going to be when they're with him. But this team, that's tough. And I mean, they're not flashy. They're not going to wow you. They're just going to run downhill. They're going to run the football. The receivers are going to make plays on the outside. Don't need Taylor Heineke to necessarily take the game over. They just need him to kind of control things. Be efficient offensively. Take a shot down the field, but most importantly, don't turn the ball over. Take care of the ball. I'm going to do the rest.
This kind of, you know what? I'm gonna tell you this right now. It kind of sucks for Taylor Heineke in a way, right? Because, when they get this guy back, right? And say Taylor Heineke's struggling, Carson Wentz comes back. That's what I'm going to say. When they get Carson Wentz back, and say Taylor Heineke's struggling, the moment they're like, "Hey, Carson, come in the game, gotta save us." that kind of sucks, though, right? This is Taylor Heineke's moment. He's kind of like he's bringing the troops together. He's winning all these games. The defense is winning all these games. I've been saying that, but I think that this team would fare much better when Carson Wentz comes back. But they're gonna roll with the high hand anyways.
Yeah.
I mean, when I look at Deron Payne, Johnson, Allen, Montez Sweat, and then you add Chase Young to that mix, oh my God!
Yeah.
I have nightmares, and I'm not even playing football.
Yeah, on the Atlanta side, 9-8, maybe 8-9, probably wins your division.
It's true.
That's crazy.
A team with a losing record will make the playoffs this season. I'm sure.
Right, it's the way that these two teams are trending. What are they? 5-6. The other one's 5-7.
The Falcons are 5-7. The Buccaneers are 5-6.
5-6.
Yeah.
So 8-9, 9-8 would probably win that division. That division is definitely going to go down to the last few weeks of the season.
For real, man, this is crazy.
Every team in the NFC South has been extremely disappointing, including the Carolina Panthers.
And Washington, you got a game next week, important game next week, right? It's you and the Giants.
Literally,
I mean, if the playoffs were to start today, like this very second, all the teams in the NFC East would be in the playoffs today.
Yeah, that's what I said. That's what I
I
said.
I understand that, but you got an important game. You got two important games back to back. I've never seen that. They
man.
play the
Let me
Giants
say
in back to
this.
back weeks.
I would have thought the NFC
No,
East,
they
the way
don't.
these
They got a
records
bye.
are,
No,
I
they
would
got
have thought
a
that would have been, I would have thought that would have been the NFC West this season, and we all did think that it was going to be the NFC West, and we thought this was going to be Philly and Dallas's division. Like both, like all four teams are going crazy.
it still is. Let's be
It
real.
still is.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, no, it is. You're right. They all four teams are playing great.
Moving on to the teams in the AFC West that are going in completely opposite directions. First, the Denver Broncos continue to just be extremely disappointing this year as Carolina beats them 23-10. Russell Wilson 16-35, 142 yards and a touchdown. Sam Darnold 11 of 19, 164 yards and one touchdown. Latavius Murray, pretty good game here, 13 carries for 92 yards. And then the Rams got beat down by the Kansas City Chiefs 26-10 as Kansas City is 9-2. Bryce Perkins, first NFL start, very much up and down. 13-23, 100 yards, one touchdown.
He had that one good drive there at the end that brought it into 10, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Patrick Mahomes,
yeah, that was a hell of a drive.
Just an okay game here for Patrick Mahomes. You like to see a guy not have to throw the ball 42 times in a game that you have winning handily. But one touchdown, one piss. Isaiah Pacheco, 22-69, one touchdown. Thoughts on either of these games?
He's looking. He's man, Isaiah Pacheco, man. I like that rookie, man.
Yeah,
he's looking. He run strong, man. He's everything that they need there in Kansas City. He completes that offense, man. He brings the nasty, like my guy Greg Popovich likes to say. Oh, let me be real quick here, TJ, before you jabber on in, because I'm gonna be on here with David, like the guy from Denver, from that one YouTube channel right here, Nathaniel Hackett. I'm gonna tell you one play. They the first two drives, I think Denver gets into the red zone. I think the second drive, it was the first drive. They get to the red zone. These are the three plays that he runs in the red zone. It was a toss to the left, get stuffed. It was the same play to the right, get stuffed. And then he runs it right up the middle, and it gets stuffed. What are you doing? What are you doing? Your quarterback, he's paying probably $150-something million. What's his play on in the red zone? I don't get it. This guy does not deserve to be a head coach next year. I'm sorry. If he's a head coach next year, TJ, Christian, David, I don't even know what this shit is rigged. I'm sorry. And somebody did say that the Denver Broncos, because the Walmart ownership kind of own them, like they're the great value of the NFL right now. They're the shambles. I don't know, man.
It's just what's his name? Russell Wilson is constantly getting outplayed by quarterbacks who shouldn't be outplaying.
Make less than him.
It's true.
Like you lose a game at OT to Derek Carr, no shame in that, right? Derek Carr is not as bad as folks paint him out to be, right? But losing a game to you don't lose to Ryan Tannehill
or right? Sam Darnold.
You don't lose a game to Sam Darnold. You don't lose a game to Zach Wilson. All right, you don't lose a game 12-9 against the Colts, where literally nobody scored. It was a field goal fest.
Yeah.
Or Geno Smith, for that matter.
Or Geno Smith in the first game of the season, right? Like Justin Herbert, okay, right, okay. Like that's like you kind of you the elder statesman. He the young up and coming, like he the young gun. Like he trying to hey, I'm in this league. Like I'm a presence. Like y'all gonna see me for the next 15 years, God willing. But it's just like obviously this is not how any of us saw the Broncos season going when they announced.
I didn't think they'd be a playoff team, but I didn't think they'd be like a dumpster fire.
This is a dumpster fire. Defense are wasting the defense. And like I said, Nathaniel Hackett, if he has a job next year, I cannot believe it. There's no excuse.
The crazy thing about it is, so 3 years ago, Nathaniel Hackett was getting fired as the OC of the Jacksonville Jaguars. I think if somebody had been like, "Yeah, that guy's going to be a head coach in 3 years," like they would have laughed at you. Like, it would have been.
Well, it's kind of like it's like we said, like Aaron Rodgers, Aaron Rodgers gets a lot of guys jobs, but then they go to other situations where they don't have Aaron Rodgers. Whole time though, Colin Cowherd proposed the theory of they only hired Nathaniel Hackett because they thought they were getting Aaron Rodgers.
100%. I said that from the get-go.
So and the way Jordan Love played last night.
Man, knock it off.
He completed one pass. He completed one pass. 2 passes, really.
No, he had some good. We'll get to it.
Moving on to two games that were walk-off style victories. One for the Jacksonville Jaguars, the other for the Los Angeles Chargers. Which one do you think was more impressive between the Chargers or the Jaguars on the walk-off?
Definitely Jacksonville. And honestly, there's a problem with the Baltimore Ravens. Is he?
You just said that because you want to go in on Baltimore. That's all.
Yes, I did. Is there a problem?
Kinda, a little bit.
You'll be all right. All right. Drink some prune juice. Let that go.
A little bit.
And the goat could not save y'all with the 67-yarder that was 5 yards short.
But look, this is the 4th time that the Ravens have had a lead in the 4th quarter, and they've blown it. This happened in week 2 against Miami. It happened in week 4 against Buffalo. It happened against the Giants. Well, that was supposed to happen against the Giants. And then it happened against Jacksonville. Like, well, I'm going to deal with him after the show. But
that was supposed to happen. Right.
You have to give a lot of credit because they're playing harder for Doug Peterson than they did any point under Urban Meyer last year. That's a loss under Urban Meyer if he's on the sideline for them yesterday. But
and we kind of saw Trevor Lawrence kind of grow up a little bit.
Here's the thing. That Baltimore defense isn't as nasty and isn't as tough as we're accustomed to seeing. Like Ray Lewis and Ed Reed are probably, a little old and everything. And they're probably like, look, let's strap up and get back on the field because this wouldn't happen under us. But no, that was Baltimore should have won, and I thought Justin Tucker had that kick for a minute.
Man, it looked good.
It looked good for a little bit, but then when you saw it,
did you see the replay?
It was about 4 yards. It was about 4 yards short. If he kicked that in Denver with high altitude, he might have had a shot at that.
In a dome.
Or a dome. Yeah, he might have had a shot at that.
Well, by the way, before we move on to the other game, if you haven't seen whatever the Jacksonville mascot was wearing,
oh my gosh, he was wearing like a Speedo and some sunglasses. I'm like, dude, what is this guy got going on over here? Oh my goodness, man! Hey, that drive though. And I was saying this. I was like, okay, you guys got 26-27, kick that extra point going to OT. That is a ballsy move by Doug Peterson.
I like it. Both
that is a ballsy move.
What do you got to lose? You're 3-7. Right. I mean, we're either going to win this game right now or we're going to suffer a loss. What's the end of the world?
To the dome point about Justin Tucker, last year we saw the one he made against Detroit. That was 66, and that hit the crossbar and went over. So if you push him back a yard, maybe he misses. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
Right?
I'm not betting against Justin Tucker. But on the other side, Chargers do the same thing. They score a touchdown, and then they do the walk-off to basically go for 2 to win the game when they easily could have taken the tie. I actually like that decision, too, in that game, too. Justin Herbert played pretty well down the stretch.
Now, I would have ripped I forget what the hell's Brandon Staley. I would have ripped his ass a new one if they didn't get that. I honestly would have.
Forget that, bro. You forget. Go big and go home. But anyway,
hell no.
Yeah, go big and go home.
My defense has been sort of mediocre in this game. I'm not gonna send him back out there to play defense in overtime. No, we're gonna win the game right now. This is our offense. This is Justin Herbert. This is where we have all our bread's buttered on the defense.
Okay. So next time he does that, and they don't get it, I would see a different sentiment from every single one of you guys. Brandon Staley, go for it. He should have took that to Porter. Let the whole team.
I have
Guarantee
no,
been
it.
no,
consistent
no,
on
no, no,
this.
no, 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 no. Like there's a time and place for all of that. That was clearly the time and the place for that. Like if it's a 4th and 4 at midfield with like eight, with like 8, 9 minutes to go in the fourth quarter, and you do that
You
and
go
you don't
for
get it,
it for
yeah, that's when you like, bro. Like it's still a lot of game left. A lot can happen. Now you gave this team, now you gave this team the ball at basically midfield.
We've seen
Like
him do that
exactly.
too.
Yeah.
So, like both of these, both of the teams that lost, the Cardinals, the Ravens, obviously, but Baltimore is what's their record? Are they
They're 7 and
seven,
4.
7-4? All right, so they pretty much neck and neck with the Bengals. Yeah, matter of fact, they both are seven
They
and
have
four.
they have the same record, except Baltimore has a tiebreaker, I think.
So yeah, again, Christian brought up Baltimore's defense. Yeah, Lamar Jackson could be looking at them like, "Hey man, y'all messing with my money." I'm not really too happy about that because I give y'all the lead. I did my part. I give y'all the lead. I come off the field. Y'all supposed to hold the lead and secure the W. Right now, if I had 25 seconds as opposed to 23 seconds, maybe I get Justin Tucker close enough to get a 60-yard field goal as opposed to 67 on the rate.
I also think there's a little bit of concerns there with Lamar Jackson's completion percentage being really not
Man,
good right
hey,
now.
hey, 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 hey,
And
hey,
I know he doesn't have weapons on the outside, but I
it
would
is
like to
no, no,
see
no,
him
no,
have.
no. It is what it is. Like this, like Lamar Jackson out there, he gonna find a way. He gonna win you that game. I ain't like they can
True.
laugh at his completion percentage. At the end of the day, what's the most important record? What's the most important stat? I mean,
W.
W's, L's. He has more W's than he has L's on
100%.
the.
And I mean, he
Oh,
should get paid. I'm just saying, his completion percentage could be higher, at least
it
in
should
this game.
okay, and it could be, but on the Cardinal side, for does Kyler Murray have a PR guy?
No,
Does
maybe I don't know.
like does he have a public relations guy? Does he have a guy that's gonna be like, hey man, you finna get hit with these kind of questions? Because like bro, like I don't know if it's smart for you at this stage of your career to be like schematically we're effed up. Like first off, you ain't accomplished nothing to say that. Like you like if Tom Brady was to come out and say like, hey, schematically we're messed up, we like this something ain't right, then it's like, all right, now they gotta like look at what's going on.
Yeah,
Is he
because his words hold more weight.
exactly? Izzy may hate his guts, but if Aaron Rodgers was to say schematically we messed up, it's like, man, this he ain't lying,
Nah,
right?
I want to know. I want to know. Does Kyler Murray have a status? Because he comes to
Yeah,
games.
that
You
too.
see, yeah, baby.
Hey, no, no, no. Hey, you know what he dressed like? He dressed like the 5-year-old that you let him pick out his own clothes, and that's what he come up with.
Nah, man. It's simple. Nah, it's simple.
Now that we moved into the absurdity, let's move on to this game. Let's talk a little bit
It's,
about
You don't never
the
let the big man
right
win.
here.
AFC
You
West
see
and
what I'm
NFC
talking
West.
about? This is years.
Las
This is
Vegas
years.
Raiders win the game on walk-off. Josh Jacobs touchdown, 40-34. Derek Carr, 3 touchdowns, 2 picks. Josh Jacobs, 33 carries, 229 yards, 2 touchdowns, including the 86-yard walk-off to the house. He also led the team in receiving yards, and I know you guys don't play fantasy, but if you do, 45 points for Josh Jacobs in this game.
David, I left him on my bench and I started. Oh my God! I started Travis Etienne and Alvin Kamara over him.
Oh,
What the
man.
hell was I thinking? Oh my God! It lost me a fantasy match.
Travis Etienne put up a goose egg. Geno Smith, 27-37, 2 touchdowns and a pick. Kenneth Walker continues probably his rookie of the year campaign. 14 carries, 26 yards, and 2 touchdowns. Tyler Lockett and Travis Homer had the receiving touchdowns for this team.
He
Thoughts?
also Kenneth Walker also had a grown man touchdown where he carried like 6, 7, 8
Yeah,
dudes
yeah.
into the
End zone.
end zone. Yeah, Josh Jacobs just said, you know what, I'm tired of this. I'm ready to go home. This 12th man is a little too loud. I'm finna shut everybody up. And yeah, you can say what you want about that DK Metcalf catch. That was a catch. That wasn't a catch. That was a catch. I don't know how you feel about it. But but at the end of the day, like this was nobody played defense, none. Like this was 24-20 at the end of the first quarter. like Jesus Christ, like nobody played defense. They took a pick away from the Raiders early in the game, which led to, I think it only led
Field
to
goal.
a field goal, but
yeah, it was that was third down anyways.
yeah, like it don't matter. Like hey, you took a pick from me, bro. Like I don't know what more I had to do to take a pick, like to secure that interception, right? 303 yards. That's what Josh Jacobs had from the line of scrimmage. 303. It's teams that don't get 303 yards in a game. He had that from the line of scrimmage.
The Las Vegas Raiders had 576 yards of offense in this game, and they almost lost.
And they almost, bro. And like what's crazy?
That was a big ass play by Max Crosby at the end too with that sack.
Oh yeah,
that was a huge play, And he's the guy. He's the guy that we've been talking about. He's been looking around for help on that defense. He's the only guy that's been showing up defensively for them. And they've had Chandler Jones and God Lee. That's another dude. He need to get put on the block. I mean, not the block, like not the chopper block, but like, man, dude, where you at, man? Where you been at? So.
No, he fumbled. He recovered a fumble yesterday. I'm like, oh,
he did recover a fumble. I was like, oh, okay, cool.
Oh, there he is. I thought he would have been like, I thought he would have been the one to like cause the fumble, but no, he just recovered. He just
recovered it. But yeah, nobody played defense in this game. But yeah, this is a good win for the Raiders. So you got back-to-back wins. Maybe you can build some momentum. Finish the season on a high note. Christian, thoughts? Moving on to the final blowout from Sunday afternoon. San Francisco 49ers blanked.
Is this really Saints. A blowout?
Oh, yeah, it was.
Sure. Is it like 13-0? Is
13-0, and you're not competitive in the game. You just turn the ball over a billion times.
13-0 is not a blowout. Come on, man.
A mild beatdown. Okay,
that's not even a beatdown. That's a tap on the wrist.
Anyways, New Orleans, Andy Dalton, 18-29, 204 yards. He was the leading rusher for this team as well. 4 carries for 21 yards. Chris Olave, 5 catches for 62. On the San Francisco side of this, 26-37, 222, 1 touchdown for Jimmy G. Elijah Mitchell, 7 carries, 35 yards. He left the game with an injury. He sprained his MCL. He's going to miss about 6 weeks. Hopefully he has a speedy recovery. Juwan Jennings had the lone receiving touchdown for this team.
Man, look, I expect you to throw for more yards if you go 26-37.
6.0 yards per game average.
per catch. Per pass. That's ridiculous.
That's also what Jimmy. That's what he is, right? Like
that's exactly what he is. Yeah,
100%. But yeah,
that's exactly what he is.
Andy, the Saints had several opportunities to really tie this game.
Hey, that's why I just wanted to
fumbles by Alvin Kamara, missed field goals in this game. They really just kind of threw away opportunities to win this game.
Hey, this is a fourth straight week. Alvin Kamara has been quite pedestrian, right?
I think he won't out. I think he wants to be elsewhere. But yeah, that's why this one the beat down, David. Like they still had in Madden, like you ever heard of the dub rule in Madden? Like you only pass the sticks when you get down 21. Like no, like they like this game went on the whole 4 quarters because you had opportunity after opportunity to get in there. But I just think Alvin Kamara wants to be elsewhere that's not New Orleans. I just think he needs a fresh start. Andy Dalton was your leading rusher. That tells me everything about this game that I need to know. Like Andy Dalton was your leading rusher. Right? Andy Dalton. I'm gonna say that one more time. Andy Dalton was your leading rusher, right?
And who was the second leading rusher? It was Alvin Kamara and Taysom Hill.
Yeah.
Like, come on, bro. It's man.
It's not even that. It's just Jameis Winston over there on the sideline. It's like, okay, the AFC South is still up for grabs. At this point, did Andy Dalton really give you the best chance to win?
No,
not for them.
That's what I'm saying.
They could for sure still make the playoffs if they win. They can still win the division. Like that's the scary part about this. They're only 2 games out of it.
Yeah, and then my thing is Andy.
1 game out of it.
Hey,
James Winston, I think, could give you a better chance to win than Andy Dalton. Seriously,
Tampa.
like
Hold on, Christian. This who they got left: Tampa, Atlanta, Cleveland, Philly, the Panthers. They're
They
not.
two
could
wins.
they could easily win out.
No,
No, they win 2 wins. They'll win 2 wins because they sure ain't winning the Tampa.
who are the,
But
who are the,
that's gonna be a chippy
who are,
game right there.
who are the
They
two?
could be they could give Tampa problems, especially Taysom Hill, because it seems like the Buccaneers never have an answer for him.
Man,
But
that's
But yeah.
funny.
man, I don't know what's
But
going on in
I
New Orleans.
expected better San Francisco's offense out of this game, especially how they looked the week before. But this is probably the best defense in the NFL, this San Francisco 49er unit.
Yeah,
Yep.
the most physical unit have speed in each tier. Those defensive linemen are active up front. The linebackers can come down in the box. They can play sideline to sideline, and they have range. And the secondary isn't bad either.
And
Uh,
because they lost yesterday, like they now have the division lead over Seattle.
Seattle, yeah.
Well, they had because they own the head-to-head tiebreaker.
Right, they
Over.
beat them. They beat
Right,
them.
they beat them.
Moving on from there, we go to Sunday Night Football, and the Philadelphia Eagles put up 40 points against the Green Bay Packers and win by 7 points.
Hey,
That's the way you want to throw the narrative out there, huh? They put up 40 points. They did. But yeah, it was.
They did a lot.
I would have thought Green Bay would have laid down though. Go ahead, David. Keep going.
Yeah, I mean they did play. I mean they play hard. Aaron Rodgers, 11 of 16, 140 yards, 2 touchdowns, 2 picks. He left the game in the middle of the third quarter. Did not return. Jordan Love came in, 6 of 9, 113 yards and 1 touchdown. The 1 touchdown he threw was extremely nice. It was really more of a breaking coverage than it was anything else. But AJ Dillon, 8 carries, 64 yards and a touchdown. Christian Watson, 3 games in a row with a touchdown, 4 for 110, 1 touchdown, including that 63-yard bomb. Or that
It wasn't a bomb. It was just a slant.
it was like a
Right,
slant
right,
route
right,
to the
right.
house.
It was a
Right.
crossing route.
Oh, the
Crossing route took
route.
to the house. Aaron Jones had a receiving touchdown. Also, Jalen Hurts, another good game for him here. 17 carries, 167 yards. Miles Sanders, 2 touchdowns. Kenneth Gainwell, a touchdown. A.J. Brown, Kez Watkins, all had receiving touchdowns for this team as the Philadelphia Eagles win 40-33. Izzy, this is your team. Go ahead.
All right. Yeah, no, man. We just, you know what? Green Bay couldn't stop the run. They showed it.
7.4 yards a carry in this game.
Miles Sanders,
Philadelphia
Kenneth
Eagles set the
Gainwell.
record for the most yards by a team in an NFL game in the history of the league with 363 yards rushing.
Jalen Hurts had what, over 100 and what,
157 yards. He had 120 in the first quarter.
Yeah, and up the middle, I'll tell you this right now. Kenny Clark usually is a guy that can get some penetration and can wreak some havoc against the running team or the running game. But Jason Kelsey was manhandling. He won that battle yesterday. He literally won that individual battle at the center nose guard position. When I look at Green Bay, man, they had a lot of fight in them. They just couldn't stop the run. That's all it was. And when I look at Jordan Love, he came in and he threw some nice balls, even including, he threw a nice back shoulder throw. He threw a really nice ball in 2 deep zone to Aaron Jones that Aaron Jones was completely dropped, there. So, Jordan Love, I was really impressed with, how he came in the game and he looked like, he had great command of the offense. He was accurate. And, looked like that team, like, for some reason, I just saw a difference, right? I don't know if you guys noticed it, but I saw, like, the offensive line had a pep in their step. The wide receivers had a pep in their step. They were all happy for Jordan Love to come in that game. And it's
You saw that off of 9 pass attempts?
I saw that. No, hold on. TJ, I saw that off of just body language when he came in. They were all happy to have him. Yes, I did. I saw it. TJ, don't take this moment away from me. Don't take this moment away from me. Okay? I'm trying to look at the positives here, okay?
TJ, let the man have his moment, okay?
No.
Okay.
No.
Jordan. So it's just kind of microcosm of how miserable Aaron Rodgers has been making his team all year with his poor body language and his lack of energy. And a young guy just came in there and almost took away the game, almost came and took the bull by the horns and brought him back and couldn't stop the
If
run
Packers
again.
could have stopped,
So
if Packers could
yeah,
have stopped the run, things could have gotten interesting.
Okay,
They couldn't.
yeah.
If okay, we see this all. I say this all the time when teams just run the ball down the other team's throat. At some point in time, you gotta draw the line in the sand and say, "Damn it, enough's enough." 363 yards, really? Basically, two dudes had 150 yards, like solo.
Nobody averaged less than 4.9 yards a carry.
Nobody averaged less than 4 point. And David, and
even
you
5 foot
know,
nothing. Kenny Gainwell was eating too.
and David, you know the rule here, bro. We don't do 4.8s, 4.9s. We round that up to 5 because that's what you're supposed to do. And
Yeah, he's getting 5 yards a pop.
5 yards a pop, bro. And again, this is a defense where we thought, hey, it's just first round galore. It's littered with first round picks, right? We thinking this gonna be a top 5, at least top 10 defense in the league, right? Manhandled. Took
Yeah,
they
but
lunch money.
I mean, in their defense, though, I mean, this is a defense that has a lot of injuries.
Okay, and I get that, but again, 363 is 363.
No Devondre Campbell. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, that's nice.
I also have a semi problem with like all the quote unquote fake injuries by the Packers. Like it was like constant in this game.
Yeah, what was that?
Going down. Like
I saw that in the group chat, and I'm like, wait, are players really just taking a dive, quote unquote, just to
it looked like they were just getting like there was a video. I don't remember who the player is, but he's just walking. All of a sudden, he just
I saw that he just falls down.
Yeah, he just
but
obviously,
you know, Green Bay like the more pressing.
I think TJ Slayton got hurt in this game too, man. You know,
TJ who?
TJ Slayton. TJ Slayton.
But obviously, the more pressing concern here is the health of Aaron Rodgers. Like you can clearly see that this. You can clearly see that. Hey, man, be nice. You can clearly see that.
The done for. Go with the young boy now.
He goes he tries to he does a simple handoff on the road. Like he does a simple handoff, and it's just like it was like pulling teeth, bro. Like he looked so uncomfortable. Doing that, and I don't know if if it came from a hit during the game, because I know he came into the game with a thumb, and they were like belly aching about the thumb, right? Like, and I'm like, okay, I guess that's a legitimate gripe as to why he's throwing the ball the way that he is. But like that first pick he threw, where it bounced off somebody's head or helmet, and then it got picked off. It's like, hey, what the hell can you do about that? Like, that ain't nothing you can do about that. Bad luck.
Right? Aaron Rodgers retires. And Israel's gonna go through, you know, Aaron Rodgers is gonna retire, and Israel's gonna do a extravaganza. Yes, let's go. Get him out of there. Get him out of there. I'm ready for the young boy to come in.
Good win for the Philadelphia Eagles. Any other final thoughts on this game?
Not just win out. Well, try to win out. Try to. At some point in time, you're gonna start once you clinch that division, like you're gonna start who do we sit, who ain't playing this game, because I'll take that back. That Cowboy game,
Dallas is only a game back.
That's something like that Cowboy game. Everybody playing. So like you got to send the message that Cooper Rush, Dak Prescott, don't matter who the quarterback is, we better than y'all. But y'all pretty much got the Titans, the Giants. That should be a tough out. Well, both those teams should be tough outs. You got a gimme, against the Bears, another gimme against the Saints, and then you close out with the Giants. But if they
I'm gonna tell you the team.
No, but
I'm gonna tell you the team in the playoffs that's gonna get them. The team in the playoffs that's gonna give them the most. I ain't even scared of Dallas, to be honest, for the Philadelphia Eagles. I'm gonna tell you the team it's the Niners. The team that I think is going to get them up out of there in the playoffs is the Niners. Yeah. They have a team. It's just a matchup. It's a bad matchup for Philly.
But Christian, I agree because
don't you think that 12-1 clinches that division? 12 and 1.
Clinches, no, 12-1 clinches home field throughout.
Yeah.
Right. So okay. So if you beat the Titans and you beat the Eagles, I mean, if you beat the Giants, why run the risk of playing those other, like playing your key guys in some of those other games?
I get what you're saying for sure, TJ. But also,
Like you need Jalen Hurts. You need Jalen Hurts to play against the Bears. Really?
Right.
No.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
What's
Nah,
going on?
I'd rather have him when it's more important in January.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And to Izzy's point, I think the 49ers are the biggest threat to the Eagles in the NFC because San Francisco, they're built to travel into cold weather and beat you. They have an offensive line, they get consistent tight end play when he's healthy, and they run the football. They're a physical downhill football team. Physicality travels.
Yep.
So we'll be back here tomorrow when we break down Monday Night Football, and then we're going to make our predictions for week number 13. So you don't want to miss that content. Please like, share, and subscribe as we are on YouTube and Twitter this week. We'll be back on Facebook probably in a couple days here. We'll see how that ends up working out. I'm David Huppin. Right there is the CEO of Prime School, Mr. Israel Vera from Daily Blitz blog, Mr. Christian Simpson, and my co-host, Mr. TJ Hopkins. Gentlemen, what do we do here at the Prime, my friends?
TJ about to get his ass.
Right. We locked up. They can't let me.
We're out of here.
Mike Zuckerberg. Hey, Zuckerberg, let me out.